Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. This one, the replay site, said it was actually from Battle.net, but I beg to differ. I think it is actually from the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup, because, well, I know that Nerchio and Grubby did play the finals there. It was a best-of-5 series. It went to the 5th match, and I do believe that this is the 5th match of the finals of the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup, so that makes it just so much more epic. Nerchio is a Zerg player, has been playing Brood Lords for about 10 years before switching to StarCraft 2, so he is definitely a veteran. He has many titles to his name, including the MSI Pro Cup that he just won about 5 days ago. I think it was last week. And Grubby, unfortunately, does not have as many titles. He did win the Copenhagen Games in spring, but that is about it. Although he has been showing very good results, just never top 3 that often. But he has made it to the finals in this tournament, and he is a very solid player. He used to play Warcraft 3 before switching to StarCraft 2. So it is definitely anyone's game, and really I think this is the final game of the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup. So it all comes down to this, a lot on the line for these two players. You can see that probe is going to try and deny that expansion. Now, while we wait for this game to unravel, I will announce that I have been allowed now on YouTube to post videos that are more than 15 minutes long, so no more cutting videos of epic games into 4 parts. Now all my videos will be in one smooth, large chunk for your viewing pleasure, so thank you to all the viewers and all followers who have actually made this possible, because you only get promoted, allowed to post longer videos after a certain amount of videos, and after you prove yourself worthy, and you guys have certainly proved myself worthy, so that is good news. Also, I will be posting some more Diablo 3 videos. They have posted the items on the Diablo 3 website, so I will be making a video about that soon enough, so thank you guys. If you want to watch it, look for it right after. It will probably be some builds, probably some MF builds to start with. Also, I want to say that the StarCraft Pyramid, that article I wrote on Team Liquid, now has over 68,000 views. That is right, 68,000 people have read the StarCraft Pyramid. And for all of you who have read it, I know almost everyone who will be watching this video have read it. I want to thank you. Most people like it. A lot of rage around it. Also, I get a lot of private messages. If you are going to rage about it, just send me a PM and I will gladly rage back or try to explain myself. I usually reply very calmly. This probe will barely make it out. Nerchio actually stealing, I will come back to the game, Nerchio actually stealing the gas. One Zealot gonna start hacking away, and as soon as that Stalker is out, he will finish the extractor and get an assimilator right after this, so he is probably gonna go for a Sentry Heavy expand. Usually when you steal the gas, you have to prepare for a 4-gate and keep those lings very close to the expansion, just to be sure that your Protoss opponent will actually expand behind this, because it can be very tricky at this point. The Protoss player could actually throw down an expansion and then cancel it and 4-gate you behind it, and you have no clue. You really have to spot that expansion and make sure it finishes before committed to something. You can see that Nerchio knows this. He will be playing the safe route and getting a Roach Warren. I expect him to get about 5 Roaches and stop there, just to be safe behind this and prevent a 4-gate if anything happens. He does see the Nexus, so he is feeling safe, at least for now. He knows that no 4-gate is going to come, because at this point in time, I don't think that the Protoss player could actually afford it. And this is actually gearing up to be quite this long game in this final match. You can see that Grubby does not have any intention of attacking. Meanwhile, Nerchio is building 4-5 Roaches now, going to be very safe behind this, so both of these players will be focusing on economy-based play. I like these 4 Roaches by Nerchio, by the way, because he can actually keep map control. No way that the Protoss player can actually move out with only 3 sentries and a Stalker when there are 5 Roaches on the map. The 5 Roaches can also take some pot shots at these forward buildings, because Stalkers Stalkers and sentries won't do much if the roaches stay behind, especially only a single stalker. Now, Nerchio is a bit supply block now, just now producing an Overlord. He was just for a second, but he is way on top of that. Gonna move out with these 6 roaches, and like I said, this isn't going to be to finish anything off. It is just going to be putting some pressure out, and Grubby is actually moving out of his base. This could be very dangerous. One Zealot will be intercepted, and that does not look like much, but I mean, Grubby really doesn't have that many units. He will be relying on exclusively on these sentries to defend this, and that is actually a lot of roaches. These could do quite some damage, but force fields will be able to prevent this. Like I said, trapping a few lings, nice force field there. Like I said, the roaches can really take some free pot shots and just be annoying, even though they won't be doing that much damage. I love these force fields, trapping 2 roaches and 2 lings. Going to be able to actually prevent these roaches from doing any kind of damage. Nerchio producing a lot of lings behind this, just streaming in. Nice wall off by Grubby behind this with the forge, preventing the lings from actually coming back here. The Nexus is under fire. It might go down here, and this is so tight. It will go down, and that is a huge blow to Grubby. He actually needs to do a lot of damage following this because he just lost a Nexus now. I mean, the Zerg is free to actually drone up behind this. He will be needing a lot of defense. And there are still a lot of lings on the field, and lings really not what Grubby wants. They can easily surround this, and a lot of force fields were wasted during that attack. The counterattack with the lings going to be able to actually storm inside the main base, and might this actually be game for Grubby? He really needs to do a lot of damage here. I feel like Nerchio could have walked in straight up inside the main base. He decides to actually take on a pylon before that. One Zealot being torn down. These lings will actually not manage to go inside the main base. Little blunder here by Nerchio. I feel he threw away so many lings, and there he is. He goes, what the bleep? And with the reason, because I don't know what happened. I don't know how Grubby actually held that. That was amazing, or a little blunder by Nerchio, but he should definitely not have held that off. And now, because of that, he actually spent so many larvae on lings and didn't do much damage. I think he actually took out a pylon here and nothing else, not able to stream inside the main base. He will try once again to just walk right by. There it is, the counterattack once again. The harvester count is so close at this point, and once again gonna try and focus down this Nexus. I don't know if this is a right idea, because he could just walk right inside the main base and take out so many probes. Gonna force the cancel on the Nexus and walk straight back home. So taking very little damage this time and actually preventing that Nexus from going up is a huge deal at this point. Meanwhile, I mean, Grubby is just amassing a huge force, and really there aren't many units for Nerchio to actually defend this with. He is getting his 3rd base at this point, while Grubby is just now rebuilding his 2nd base. And really at this point I have to give the advantage to Nerchio, but really that was huge. These Zealots blocking the entry to the main base, that was just huge. That did save Grubby's ass in this game and in this tournament. Remember, this is the finals, and that was such a huge deal. I mean, if those lings could have actually just walked in here, it would have been game. He could have had a surround on these Zealots. It would have been over, and Nerchio would have been the winner of the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup. But fortunately for Grubby, he actually held that off quite with a lot of luck. Now one hallucinated Phoenix gonna walk up inside the main base, or fly up inside the main base, see everything that is there. He sees that there are 2 spine crawlers, a whole bunch of roaches and lings. He sees that there is a 3rd base now. Nerchio knows that these are hallucinations because the Void Ray did not do any damage. 3 queens, a whole bunch of roaches, and a whole bunch of lings gonna try and prevent this. Some overlords being picked off. Now Nerchio is actually supply blocked while Grubby attacks. Nice force field's gonna be able to prevent these reinforcements from coming down, and really Nerchio, another blunder. He completely has to go around the whole thing just to intercept this. He is going to try and flank with the roaches, lings, and drones, but nice force fields once again, locking this small army inside the expansion, and this is going to do so much damage. You can see that Grubby is not committing to this. He is going to stay at this ramp so he can force field it once again and abuse of this position. A huge force field. Grubby really doing a lot of damage, forcing all the drones to fight at this point. This is not good. Drones against stalkers and sentries is never a good place, and really, I mean, Grubby is doing so much damage at this point. You can see the worker kill tab. You can see 45 to 47 workers, 44, and now, I mean, that was so much damage done by Grubby. Now finally the lings and the roaches are able to stream in here because there are no more sentries left. But Grubby has taken the worker advantage, although that third base is still up and running. I have to give the advantage back to Grubby at this point, and such a back and forth such a back and forth game at this point. And you can see the worker kill tab is actually 26 to 5. 26 workers killed. That means that Nerchio could have actually been maxed on workers at this point at 70 workers. That is about where you want to be, maybe a tiny bit over that. But that huge attack by Grubby gave him the lead. He is now up on supply, up on harvesters. The only thing going for Nerchio right now is that he does have that third base starting to mine once again. He is now mining from this third extractor, though. That could be huge later on in the game because that gas intake is so crucial. Especially since he has the infestation pit now, he is most likely going to go for pathogen glands and just spam more infestors, maybe with neuroparasite, just to mind control these colossus. Now this is pre-patch, so the neuroparasite does actually have that extra range. This game was played before the patch went live, so neuroparasite will be that much more effective, especially against these long-range colossi. Meanwhile, getting a fourth base, I like this decision by Nerchio because he is behind. He needs to do something, but this is a huge push by Grubby. I don't know if Nerchio will actually be able to prevent this from coming up. He is setting up for a nice flank. There is still a few sentries in here, so might be able to cut off the roaches from reinforcing. And really, this is going to be so tight. I don't know if Nerchio actually has enough here. Two infestors now on their way. Nice flank by Nerchio, going to be able to actually surround this army, picking off one Colossus, but these Colossus doing so much damage. They have +1 weapon, and that is just going to be too much. He knows that more roaches are coming. Grubby will go back to his base, being able to secure a third base at this point, and really that did do more damage than you think. It did force a lot of roaches. I mean, Nerchio does have that fourth base, but because he was forced to produce all those units, he is not able to saturate it just yet, and now he is producing actually a lot more lings, and these lings are going to join this main force, and I think he is actually going to try and bust through this main army. If he can actually catch it off guard in the center of the map and get a huge surround with some nice fungal growths, I think he could actually kill this off. He does take control of the watchtower, spots the army gonna come back. Meanwhile, Grubby takes his own watchtower, spots this army, and gonna actually try and engage here. The Colossus are out of position right in front. Huge fungals on those Colossus, gonna be able to take two out. Meanwhile, the Roach is streaming forward. It's going to be able to pick off most of the Stalkers. I don't think that Grubby will actually be able to hold this off. Nerchio focusing down the Colossi, and he actually took out that army, and that was huge. Nerchio once again has the advantage at this point, and really back and forth at this point. 130 supply to 102 supply. Grubby does have that third base, but now Nerchio is free to saturate that fourth. And what a great back and forth game here in this finals for the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup. Nerchio now is just producing so many more roaches, lings, infestors, getting neuroparasite as well as missile attack level 1. He does have that upgrade disadvantage. He did decide to go for ground carapace level 1 before going for that weapons, but he's actually going to attack here 2 force fields prevent him from actually moving forward. You might wonder why Nerchio actually didn't push forward, because that was obviously only 2 force fields. But these Protoss players usually put down these force fields as preventions. You put down a single force field, say in the middle here. If your opponent decides to commit, you can throw down 2 more. If he decides to back away, you only wasted 1 force field. And that is why you usually see single stray force fields from Protoss players. As you saw here, only 2 force fields. It does force the Zerg player to actually pull back, because he knows that if he engages there, he is going to be trapped and going to have to lose his entire army. Meanwhile, the 4th base going to try and go up for Nerchio. One lone infestor being forgotten here. I think he is going to get picked off. And there it goes, that probe saying, get the hell out of my expansion. I have some huge backup. And there it goes, going to be able to pick off that infestors with full or his entire energy. The really, really useless loss from Nerchio. You don't usually see this kind of stuff from pro players, but this is the finals of the tournament. I mean, your nerves have to be... it has to be so hard to actually play at this level, because there is so much pressure, so much on the line. You have to be shaking before the start of the game. I mean, after playing 4 huge matches, you are faced against... You can see that single force field. Once again, I wanted to say that after playing 4 games, it is now tied 2-2, and it all comes down to a finals here that has to be so nerve-wracking for these 2 players that you are bound to make some small mistakes, like those infestors. Now, these 2 armies are actually playing Ring Around the Rosie between these two watchtowers. These 2 armies are trying to get the positional advantage. Both of these players not feeling that they have the advantage, so they are not going to be engaging right now. Nerchio actually taking out these rocks. I wonder if that is a favor towards Grubby, because that is the gold base that is towards his natural expansion, so that is actually one less set of rocks that Grubby has to take out. And really, I love this positional back and forth by these 2 players. They just try and get the best engagement that they can. You can see more force fields. That is way too many force fields. A lot more than I think Grubby would like to have spent. It is just gonna cause him to have that much less force fields when he actually engages this. You can see that the Colossus are doing huge damage to the Roaches. All of these are in the yellow. Nerchio does decide to engage here, but this isn't the best position at this point. You can see all the Roaches actually melted to the Colossus. Now only infestors left. That was a huge blow to Nerchio's army, and once again Grubby takes the advantage at this point, or at least food wise. Nerchio does have that 4th base going for him, but so does Grubby. Grubby looking very good at this point. Nice fungal growth, trapping 4 zealots, going to be able to pick him off for absolutely nothing. But if Nerchio overcommits here, it might be his downfall, because Grubby is now on 4 bases as well as Nerchio. Nerchio really has to do something huge at this point. That engagement was not good for him. He does not have the tech he needs to actually deal with these 4 Colossus. I mean, these infestors have never gotten a good position to be able to mind control them. And these Colossus have just done so much damage. Huge feedbacks on the infestors. Only 3 left. You can see those fungals locking down that army, allowing Nerchio to actually fall back. But this is looking like it's going to be Nerchio's downfall. There are still 4 Colossus. These 4 have been alive for such a long time. 11, 5, 6, and 13 kills on them. That is a lot of kills for 4 Colossus. And especially because they are all full health and full army. It looks like Grubby is gearing out to attack here, and I don't think that Nerchio will have enough to actually engage this. But with all that suspense, Grubby pulls back, and we are not going to see an engagement just yet. But Grubby taking his 5th base now. Small group of Roaches going to try and deny that. And he absolutely needs to deny that, because if Grubby actually takes a 4th base, that will be all she wrote. Huge engagement in the center of the map. These infestors getting 1 neuroparasite on a single Colossus. That won't be enough though. Nerchio's army is just erased from the face of the earth, and there it is, rolling on the floor, laughing. Nerchio quits, and Grubby is the grand champion of the Razor StarCraft 2 Gosu Cup, denying Nerchio 4-3 in this epic, great back-and-forth final game. Hope you liked that, guys, and as I said, I will be posting more videos of Diablo 3 right after this, so tune in for that. Thanks for watching.